All right, so piecewise functions. Graphing them, I think, is where people are struggling. So let's take a look here. So it's got graph the following on the axes provided. So here's what I would do. Best way to do this, get a table of values. So you're going to do two different table of values, one for each function. So for the first one, we have y equals negative x minus 2. And in this one, they're showing us, they're giving us 2 points. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to use those 2 points and plug them in to our equation. So I'm going to have negative 4 minus 2. So that's positive 4. So this becomes right here positive 4 minus 2. So that's going to give me a value of 2. So then the second one, if I plug that in, erase that negative 4 in there and put in a positive 2. So now I have negative 2 minus 2, which makes negative 4. So then to graph these, I'm going to plot these points. So I'm going to plot the point negative 4, 2. So I'm going to come over here, negative 4, 2, and I'll plot that one. Maybe. There we go. Okay, I got to hold it. And then 2, that's supposed to be negative 4. And that makes sense because it is a negative slope on the graph, so it should be a downward slope. Now with this, both of these are, none of these are underlined, which means these should be open circles on both of them. So there's my first graph. The second graph is for the points 2 and 6. I'm going to change the color on that. Let's see here. There we go. So for 2, 6, and it's the equation, so I'm going to write this over here, xy. It's for the equation y equals 4. Now that's actually a horizontal line, so when I plug in positive 2 and positive 6, it doesn't really matter because y is always going to equal 4. That's what that means. The y equals 4 on each of these points. So I'm going to take then from the point 2, 4, and I'm going to start there, and I'm going to plot over to 6, 4. Okay, and again, we can see both of these are not underlined, or neither of these are underlined, so they should be open circles on both. And that's how we graph that. So now I should be able to click submit. Maybe there it is, submit, and it should tell me that I am correct. And boom. Okay, so table of values is going to be your best bet on doing these. I'm going to grab another one here really quick. I'm going to see if I can find one that doesn't have, I want one with arrows. So there we go. Here's one that's going to have arrows. So this is similar in that we are going to do a table of values, but now it only gives us 1 point. It doesn't say between 2 and 6 or 4 and 2 or whatever it happened to be. So what I'm going to do here is maybe clean off this screen. Okay, so I have the first one, it's for the equation y equals negative 6. And this is for when x is less than or equal to negative 5. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pick 2 points. So I'm going to start with negative 5 because that's the number they did give me. And then I want any point that is less than or equal to negative 5. So I need something smaller than negative 5. So I'm going to say, I don't know, negative 8. Now, since this is a y equals negative 6, there's no x for me to plug in. So this is just saying that my answer is negative 6 on both of these. So now I can plot those 2 points. And here's the difference. So I have my negative 5. So I'm going to plot it here. Negative 5. Negative 6. Scroll down a little bit. Let's see here, negative 5, negative 6. So I've got, there's my first point, and then I have negative 8, negative 6. Oh gosh, okay. I think I don't have enough space on here. If you have a line, or if you end up graphing a line and you don't want it, you can just click on it again and it'll delete the line for you. So negative 5, negative 6, and then negative 8, negative 6. Now, this, let's see here, the x is less than or equal to negative 5, so that's going to be a closed dot. Then I want an arrow because it's saying it's got to go less than. So I'm going to click once, that makes an open dot, and I click again, and that puts the arrow on it. So now it's saying it's going to continue. It doesn't stop. It doesn't have another point that it has to stop at. And so then that's the same thing with this other one. So let's see here. So I have, I'll just do one more here real quick. This is for our second graph, the 5x minus 30. Okay, and it says for anything where x is greater than 5. So I'm actually going to use 5 just because that's the number they gave me. And then I need something greater than 5. So I'm going to use, I don't know, 7. You just pick a number. It doesn't really matter. So then I'm going to plug this in. So I have 5 times 5 is 25, minus 30 would make negative 5. And then I can do my 5 times 7, which would be 35, minus 30, that would be positive 5. So there's 2 points for me to use. So I'm going to plot those 2 points again. I have 5, negative 5, and then I had 7, and this is a pretty steep graph, 7, positive 5. Okay, now this x greater than 5 does not have a line on it, so I need to make an open circle on that first point. And then I need to say 7, so I could have picked 7, 7's greater than 5, or I could have picked 8, or I could have picked 9, so I need to have an arrow. So I'm going to click once to make an open circle, and I'm going to click again to make an arrow. And that's how you do those graphs. So, and I'm going to hit submit. Yes. And boom. Okay, so hopefully that helps. Got you a couple of different examples for how to do those.